Okay, guys, sorry about that. Like I was saying, Candy and I wanted to come and give our final thoughts on the Kenneka Jenkins case. Please excuse me, I'm not feeling the best today. I'm fighting a bad headache. I've been fighting it all day. But we definitely wanted to come and give this last and final video. People have been asking us what our thoughts are, and so we wanted to give that. I'll do the introduction and then we will get started.
Okay.
So for those who have been with us before, excuse me, welcome back. For those that may be joining us for the first time,
welcome. I'm Candy.
And I am Chaun. I'm still fighting to get my voice back. And welcome to another version of Car Seat Chronicles. So, like our title implies, hey Misha, this is our last and final video on the Kenneka Jenkins case, okay? In light of everything that has come out last night and into the morning. I think Candy said that she saw something late in the morning come out, but this is it for us.
For us.
This is
definitely it.
Yeah. So we're gonna say what our thoughts are. We're gonna give you strictly our kind of hypothesis, kind of like we did with our last video. This is in no way gospel. This is in no way you know exactly what occurred. This is just based off of our knowledge of systems, our knowledge of bureaucracy, our knowledge of how we know that some things work. So this is strictly based off of that. If you don't agree, that's fine. If you want to give your own opinion, that's fine. We just ask that you remain respectful in doing so, and we can respectfully discuss or what have you. Now, we may not be able to get to all comments as they come in. Don't feel like we're ignoring you. Do not feel like we're not trying to acknowledge you. We may actually go back and respond or however, but definitely feel free to put your thoughts in the comments. We just ask that you also share this video so it can reach those others that have asked us for our opinion. Definitely share the video, and then this will be it for us.
And then if you guys could too, we definitely ask you to share the video with the people that we discussed as well. So Jedediah, Sheena, Lamont, all the people that we will discuss in the video, please share this with them as well.
Absolutely.
And we'll also try to do the same.
Absolutely. Now, also keep in mind, we are in no way bad-mouthing or speaking ill of anyone involved in this, okay? So please do not take this and say that we are talking badly about anybody involved, because that is not our intention and that is not what we're doing at this time. Okay? So we're gonna get started. There was a video that Mama Teresa put out last night, basically stating that the protest was off. She called the protest off. She did say that she had she was upset. She said that she felt like there were some people that misused some funds, etc. So she was calling the whole entire protest off. People have spoke out about that. People are upset about that, and we understand that.
People are divided about that.
People are very divided on it, which literally just kind of breaks my heart, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. When somebody is trying to diffuse a situation, when somebody is trying to put an end to something, the biggest way to do it is to cause division.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer is the best way to divide anything or to conquer anybody. Just divide and conquer. That's the biggest thing.
Right.
So Candy and I kind of stepped back. We didn't immediately speak on it. People were asking us in our video last night what our thoughts were and things like that. But we didn't want to speak on it. We're big on trying not to prematurely speak on things or speak out of emotion, because, you know, that doesn't do anybody any good. So we took a step back and we took a look at some things. Last week, it was understood that Mama Teresa requested an independent autopsy. She requested an independent toxicology report because she wanted something outside of what was done. So we took a look at that. Candy researched to see, okay, when do the results of something like that come back? and I'll let you kind of speak on that before we go to the next, so I can rest my voice a little bit.
So an autopsy and a toxicology report are two different things. An autopsy is when they do, when the examiner does the physical exam of the body from head to toe, and based on what they find, either marks on the body or anything like that, they'll usually create a theory. They'll look at the organs, they'll look at everything. They usually create a theory as to what they believe happened in the situation. So usually the autopsy part of the investigation is usually available within 24 to 48 hours of that examiner getting the body or doing that part of the thing, the procedure. The part that usually takes the longest is the toxicology. That's when, you know, they send all the blood to the lab. They send, you know, they do run all the tests to exactly determine what's in the bloodstream. Were there drugs involved? Was there alcohol involved? Did the person have medication in their system, etc.? So Chaun is going to provide you, because I'm driving, she's going to provide you with some key points, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak to each of the key points.
Right.
So one of the things that I know is in the beginning is Jedediah did a video early on last week sometime where he said, you know, mom is doing a lot of positive things in the background. She hired a private examiner who's doing an autopsy and a toxicology report, etc. So that was really important to me, and that stood out to me during the time that all these other things happened, and I'm gonna explain why.
Okay. So when you look at, or when you, anybody can look it up, when you look up what the turnaround time is, the autopsy part can come back within 24 to 48 hours. The toxicology report can take up to 6 weeks. So, you know, that's important to understand. So what we feel, well, the first key thing is we feel like since she requested this, she probably heard her attorneys probably received the results of the autopsy report. They haven't received the toxicology, and that has been stated by the Cook County Examiner's Office as well, that they're still waiting on the toxicology report in order to provide a full and final result of the autopsy and everything. So the autopsy report, I'm pretty sure, or we're pretty sure that the mom and the attorneys have received that.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So yeah, so that's the first thing. So we already explained the preliminary results. So I feel like her mom, her attorneys, all these people have definitely had time to review this. One of the things that I said a long time ago to Chaun that I never said on tape was, I personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I personally believe that, remember going back to our prior video where we talked about what we believe happened. I believe that while they were in the kitchen, and when I say they, I mean Kenneka, some of the guys that helped lure her down there, a couple of the girls, while the people were in the kitchen, I feel that they attempted to do something to her. They attempted to either rape her, they attempted to do something to her, and she was not having that. Things went left, and what I personally believe, something inside of me, and I don't know what it is, there's nothing that has been released that suggests that this is true, so please do not say that this is 100% accurate. There's just something in me that says they strangled her. Somebody strangled her, and that's how she died. And after they strangled her, people panicked. They panicked, and they were trying to figure out what are they going to do next. And by them panicking and trying to figure out what are they going to do next, they knew they couldn't drag her anywhere. They would definitely have been found out, and so they put her in that freezer, and then she was later discovered by the police. And then that's when, you know, the series of events continue from that point forward. But there's something in me that says that she was strangled. And because I say that now, and I'm releasing that I personally think that that's how she passed away, I'm saying that now because remember going back to what Chaun just told you. When an autopsy is done, those results come back within 24 to 48 hours. So if those results came back within 24 to 48 hours and this young lady was strangled or she was suffocated some kind of way, the autopsy examiner would see evidence of that. they would see evidence of that. And so there was actually a video out by a news media outlet in Chicago, and I'm not going to say which one because I think it was one of two different media outlets. I tried before Chaun and I went live, before we left, we tried with everything in us to find this video. This video has been snatched down. We both saw it. There was a couple other people who mentioned that they have saw it, etc. But since everything has come out, this particular video from this news media, this very, very credible news media outlet has been snatched down. This particular media outlet stated that the attorney for the family met with the owners of the Crown Plaza on Friday.
This past Friday
before the march. They said that they met with the family's attorney. Why is this important? Put everything we just said in perspective. One, we have an autopsy that said that it was independently done, that was supposed to have been done early last week or sometime last week. Two, we said that the autopsy results, the preliminary results, come back within 24 to 48 hours, which means worst case scenario, if it was done on Tuesday, they probably would have gotten the results back on Thursday. Three, we also said that the family's attorney met with the hotel on Friday before everything played out with the march and all of this. They specifically said on this news media outlet that the family's attorney during that 1 hour meeting at the hotel never reviewed any tapes. They never reviewed anything. What I personally feel happened in that meeting is I feel that they took those preliminary autopsy results to that hotel, and they met with the hotel's attorney and the hotel owners, and they pretty much said, look, here is proof that this girl was murdered. Here is proof that something happened and she did not walk into a refrigerator voluntarily or freezer voluntarily, that she did not commit suicide. If this were the case, why would these independent autopsy results show thus and so? I personally believe there were probably either strangulation marks on her, defense wounds. There was something physically on her body that was discovered in that autopsy that would make the attorney for the family say, you know what? No, this here is proof.
And we don't need you to put up or shut up.
Put up or shut up. We don't need a video of her walking into the freezer because we know it don't exist. We know it don't exist because the science, again, going back to science, the science proves otherwise. So I'm going to let you preserve your voice, and I'm going to go ahead to a couple other things. What I feel happened is that during that meeting with the family's attorney, I feel like the attorneys for the hotel, what they did was, I feel like they at that point admitted negligence, which we talked about. We talked about negligence before. They had no choice but to admit some level of negligence, be it small, large, or indifferent. They probably said, you know what? The cat is out the bag. We didn't kill the girl. Nobody at the hotel killed the girl. Like we said in our prior video on what we felt happened, we felt that people from the party that lured her downstairs, they didn't intend to kill her. They probably intended to rape her, or they intended to do something else to her. Things went awry. We saw this on tape. All the hotel is guilty. Not all, like it's just a minimum thing. But what the hotel is guilty of is not rape. They're not guilty of murder. They're guilty of covering up what they discovered.
Exactly.
With the intention on, one, not being sued, and two, not losing their reputation, their corporate contracts, their government contracts, etc. So we feel like, and hold this for me so I know where I'm going. We feel like the hotel during that Friday meeting before the protest, they met with the family's attorneys, and that they admitted negligence, and that from Friday up until last night, all parties were in negotiation. What I feel to my soul is, I don't feel like Jedediah knew that the family was in negotiation with the hotel. I don't feel like any of the activists that were out there putting their lives on the line, their safety on the line, and all these things on the line, I feel like they were not knowledgeable that the family and the family's attorney was in negotiation with the hotel from last week Friday up until now. There's no mystery why the news media outlet reported that there was a meeting between the family's attorney and the hotel, and now all of a sudden you look for that, you can't find it. You can't find it because, and we're going to get into why next. Go ahead.
Okay, and another reason, or another kind of like clue that made us feel like there's been negotiations from Friday to last night when the video came out. On Friday, when we attended the protest, there was 12 different jurisdictions of police officers out there that were patrolling and all involved. Saturday, there was not one police officer.
We didn't see one in the video.
All the videos that we saw of Saturday and Sunday, did not see a police officer involved. Why do you think that is? Because they know that it's coming to an end.
Yep.
They don't need to expend their resources anymore. They no longer need to be involved anymore because they know that it's coming to an end.
They knew it was fizzling out. They knew why it was fizzling out, and they knew, like you said, they knew that they had no reason to continue to expunge their resources on this protest because they knew that the protest was coming to an end. The problem is you and I did not know that it was coming to an end. The people who were on the front line sacrificing their lives did not know that it was coming to an end. The people who were secretly, cooking food, taking food out there, feeding people, the people who were opening up their homes and opening up their doors, these people had no knowledge that this protest was coming to an end because, and I'm going to tell you why we believe. What we believe happened is we believe that there was a cash settlement that was offered on Friday. We believe that there was a cash settlement that was offered on Friday to the family from the hotel and from the city of Rosemont. We believe that the family was in negotiation about how much they would receive from Friday up until yesterday, which is why it seems like a lot of people in the family were kind of keeping the people that were in the front line kind of at bay. They weren't really communicating with people. They were kind of trying to figure out what to do and, all these things. What I feel happened is there were a couple of conditions that went along with that cash settlement. So I don't think the city of Rosemont and the Crown Plaza just said, here, we understand we got the autopsy results, you brought them in independently. They're not going to just say, here's a check. There's always conditions. There's always conditions with any settlement. Any settlement, there's always negotiations and conditions. You're going to negotiate, one, the amount. And you're going to negotiate, two, the events, the series of events that will happen thereafter. So one of the things that we believe happened is we believe the city of Rosemont and the Crown Plaza required, not requested, required that Mama Teresa and the family and those closest to the family, along with the attorneys, immediately call off the protest. That was the first thing that I believe the city of Rosemont and the Crown Plaza required. They required them to call off the protest, and they required them to do it in such a way that nobody could continue the protest.
Right.
So, again, we got a couple different scenarios. Now, a couple of different things could have happened, right? So, a lot of people will say, well, if that was the case, why wouldn't Mama Teresa just say, look, we came to an agreement with the hotel, we came to agreement with the city, and we settled for, whatever, not even disclosing them out because it's nobody's business.
Right.
But we agreed, and then you can call off the protest. Well, I believe what have happened is, I believe there's a lot of people who advocately really, really want answers for Kenneka. They want justice for Kenneka, and a lot of people would have still said, even after Mama Teresa came out and said that, I personally think a lot of people would have still said, no, we still want to fight for her. Yep. We still want answers. We still want justice. And some people would have respected her views, but I think some people would have still said, no, let's keep pushing forward.
Absolutely.
So another thing you have to consider, you also have to consider who the leaders are. So there's been a couple of people who have been leaders in this movement. Jedediah Brown has been a leader. Lamont has been a leader. Sheena has been a leader. These people have been instrumental in leading this movement. They have not wavered. They have been nothing but professional. They have given of their time, their resources. They have sacrificed their jobs. They have put family obligations on the back burner.
They contributed themselves financially.
Yes, they have financially contributed themselves. All all for the cause of helping this family find justice. So with that being said, these people meaning Jedediah and some of the people who have been working with him, they're very professional, and this is what they do. They organize movements. They have a history of doing it. They know what they're doing. And I personally don't think if it wasn't for them and their involvement in the movement, there would not have been such a big turnout. There would not have been so many people in Rosemont. There would not have been so many people coming together and making sure that this family has justice. So if you remove them from the equation, you have a situation where either A, Mama Teresa, if she had life insurance for Kenneka, she would have had to use her own resources, and they would have had to privately negotiate with the attorneys of the hotel to create a settlement. Or you would have had a situation where B, the attorneys probably may or may not have settled at all. It would have gone to court, and it would have been a private but nasty situation. But because of Jedediah's involvement, because of his courageousness and all the selflessness acts of all the people that are involved and how they gave of themselves, that's what created the hundreds of thousands of people all over the world who have been following this case. They put eyes on this case. Mm-hmm. They put eyes on this case.
Which leads to the next condition.
The next condition. Go ahead to the next condition.
So Candy talked about what we believe the first condition of settlement is calling off the protest immediately. Mm-hmm. The second condition, like Candy just led up to, she had to publicly discredit Jedediah and everybody involved. Why?
Yep.
Because Rosemont and the Crown Plaza personally probably had it out for him. Yep. Because they had to silence him.
This man
has
yep.
power. This man has influence. He's
mm-hmm.
running for mayor,
yep.
or was running for mayor. He was going to be doing a lot of positive things. Mm-hmm. And so what they had to do was they had to put division, and they
yep.
had to discredit him
yep.
in order for the other people. Because like Candy said, yeah, Mama Teresa could have said, okay, I'm done, but people probably would have still been out there.
Yep.
But because they've caused division, because now they have people looking at him with the side eye, because now they have people thinking that he's corrupt and all these things, now people are more than likely just going to be like, you know what, I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. I'm not going to be wasting my time. I'm not going to be, spending my money. I'm not going to be forsaking my kids. I'm not going to
yep.
do any of that anymore, because they have now publicly discredited him.
Yep.
And
what they tried to do.
And what we believe is that was another condition of the settlement in order for her to get whatever she got.
Because remember in a prior video we said if you want to find the motive, chase the money. Basically chase the money. So when you chase the money in any movement, there has to be money involved.
Absolutely.
Because people logged on, people gave, whether you gave $5, $10 or $100, because you gave, you financed the movement. Mm-hmm. You got people out of jail, you pay for buses, you pay for food, you pay for all of these things. So what would create division more than a public display? Mm-hmm. What also creates division? When you create a situation where people that have been giving now publicly don't trust the person or the source that they've been giving the money to, mm-hmm. that shuts the whole movement down.
It does.
You have to step back and you have to see things for what they are.
Right.
You have to. You have to.
And at the end of the day, like we said at the beginning of the video, we're not talking badly or negatively about anybody.
No.
Because at the end of the day, does her mom deserve something? Absolutely, she deserves something from this hotel.
Any dollar, I don't care. I don't know, how much they would have settled for. I don't care. That's none of my business. Right. But what I will say is she deserves 120 times whatever it was that she got.
But what they did and what they made, like we said, what they did is they caused that division, and they were not going to give her anything substantial unless she did that. And it's so sad, and it's so unfortunate, because if you look back on previous videos of Jedediah yep. and Mama Teresa, they were so close. It was almost like he was another son to her.
Yep.
So
yep.
I do not believe that she believes in her heart of hearts that he was that he was manipulating or using her.
No, because if it was a thing of money and you said it was brought to your attention 2 days ago. Remember what was said in her video. It was brought to her attention 2 days ago that he was doing something with the money that he should not have been doing. If that's truly how I feel, and all I can do is give my opinion. If that's truly how I feel, if I feel like somebody is handling funds on behalf of my child, my deceased child's memorial or movement or whatever, I'm not going to take 2 days to acknowledge anything.
Exactly.
I'm going to acknowledge it, first of all, privately. I'm not going to acknowledge it publicly. I'm going to acknowledge it privately, because this is somebody who has stood by my side. This is somebody who has sacrificed for me. This is somebody who has helped me get to this point.
Right.
And so I'm just, go ahead.
I see some people kind of going back and forth in the comments. It's fine. If somebody is being negative, we will remove it and block it later. Like we said at the beginning, everybody is entitled to their opinion. All that we ask is that you be respectful. If you are not able to be respectful, or you feel like you can't do that, please leave now. Because at the end of the day, everybody has their opinion, and that's fine. Be respectful. That's all we're asking. I'm
unbothered. You watching me. We hold the microphone.
Exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, we hold the microphone. If you don't like what we're saying, do another video.
And that's what VOE is about. If anybody that knows us and has been following us, we can disagree, but you have to be respectful.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so what I was saying was that. So I truly believe that her having to do this was a condition of the settlement. That's just my personal opinion. I feel like the reason that Rosemont, the city of Rosemont, and the Crown Plaza would have wanted him publicly shamed is because, remember, if he, which I know he was considering it, he never announced his candidacy, but he was considering running for mayor. So if he ran for mayor, what does that mean? That means he has to work very closely with the city.
Yep.
That means
all mayors have to work together at some point in time.
Exactly. They have to work very closely together. Plus, they have it out for him. Why? Because of his power, because of his influence, because he was able to bring people together. He single-handedly was responsible for costing the city so many millions of dollars. When you see all that police presence, those are millions of dollars that are being spent.
Absolutely.
When you see people standing outside, banging on pots, and people chanting, that's costing the hotel millions and millions of dollars. This is a hotel where it wouldn't be a surprise to us. Probably in about a week or two's time, they probably make over $1 million a week.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Absolutely.
Between your events, your restaurant, your bar, your room rental, your conference room rental, there's a lot of money that's at stake. So what we created, and I say we because we were out there too one day, what we created was, we created a situation where this was a public nuisance to this small city, but this was also a financial burden to this small city. And so, like I said, I just feel like it was a condition of the settlement. We don't at any point blame Mama Teresa. We love her. We're not judging her. We're just offering what we think is our opinion. This is just our opinion.
Right.
This is just our opinion, and this is our opinion based on the facts that have been presented, because nothing else makes sense. Nothing else makes sense. Why would somebody who has been by your side all of a sudden turn on you? And if it's truly, truly about the fun, and it's truly, truly about the money and how the money was allocated, you would not spend 2 days prior to addressing it. You just wouldn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And so one of the reasons why we feel like, and I'm going to let you speak in a minute, one of the reasons why we feel like they specifically used the fund or the Crown Plaza and their hotels wanted Mama Teresa and the family to attack Jedediah from the perspective of the funds is because you have to go back to what's a person's weakness. Right? What's a person's weakness? When you're trying to publicly discredit somebody, you're going to do it and you're going to go after what they're weak for. And the reason why I say that's his weakness is because, not because he's stolen money before, that's not true. You're going to publicly go after what a person's weakness is because there was a family member that came out that stated that Jedediah helped with a deceased family member that was involved with their situation, and that he set up a GoFundMe page, and then that there was some misappropriation of funds. Neither I nor Chaun nor anybody else know the truth of what happened with that.
We don't know if that's what happened, but that's
we're not speaking on that. But what we are saying is, when your enemy knows what your weakness is, that's what they attack. So, for example, if I decided next year or the year after I want to run for mayor or some political position, what will they attack? They're going to attack the fact that I'm a lesbian. They're going to attack the fact that, you know, Chaun and I have publicly on our own page, on our own platform, done videos, you know, about me having an affair. You know what I mean? They're going to discredit me in that regard. Your enemy will always use what they know about you. So you have to put all these facts together. Whether you agree, disagree, or indifferent, we'll definitely get to some of the comments.
Right.
But at the end of the day, this is what we gather when we put all the facts together.
Right. And another thing that I wanted to say, if it was strictly just about money, about him misusing funds, why would Mama Teresa call off the whole entire thing, still looking for answers for her daughter? She would have just kicked him out. She would have told him, look, you're not doing things right. I don't agree with what you're doing.
I disagree with you.
I don't want you involved in this anymore. Please exit and do not do anything. Don't talk to anybody involved. Do not do anything about that. Because at the end of the day, there's still a point. There's still a reason for all of this. So she would have just excused him.
It was for justice for Kenneka, and it was for answers.
Still for justice for Kenneka. Now, at the end of the day, will we ever know the answer? Probably not.
Nope.
Does Mama Teresa have the answers? We don't know for sure, but if she got an independent autopsy and toxicology done, she probably does have the answers. She probably does have the truth. But it's just so unfortunate that all of those people, from day one, this has been going on for almost 2 weeks, all those people that were out there night after night, leaving their kids, having babysitters involved, using their money, passing out food, all these people that were out there, that's unfortunate that they may never have, in their eyes, the truth.
The truth. But we believe her not releasing and probably signing some kind of waiver of liability or something like that, we believe that she can never probably publicly announce what happened,
because that's probably another condition.
That's another condition of the settlement. We believe this is just what we believe,
because then that just brings it right back. That just brings the Rosemont and the Crown Plaza right back into the light.
Could you imagine the riot and the anger and all the emotions that people would feel if they knew and had tangible evidence that this young lady was murdered? Like, could you imagine?
Exactly.
Could you imagine? Like,
see, we had everything.
I believe we did.
Okay, I'm just looking because we took plenty of notes and stuff before we decided to do this. So there.
But make no mistake about it, we're not blaming anybody. No. We have nothing but love and respect for all parties involved. If nobody else does it, you know, I publicly, and I stand firm to what I said to Mama Teresa when we seen her on Friday, when we were at the protest. I gave her a hug, I gave her my condolences, and I told her that my family is praying for your family. Because what I don't know, and what I've never personally experienced, is what you're going through. Right. And so I don't know how hard of a position this has to be. Even if all of what we said is true, she's still in a very, 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 very difficult position. Absolutely. And so I can't blame her for that. I know that if anything, all she probably wants is peace. She wants this to be over. She's sick. She wants to bury her child. She wants to mourn her child. And so even if everything that Chaun and I said is true, we don't judge you for that. We don't blame you for that. We still love you with the same love that we did beforehand. If I had to do Friday all over again, I would still be out there. I would still be out there. Because at the end of the day, the Crown Plaza was foul. The city of Rosemont and their police department was foul. And I still say, with everything in me, justice for Kenneka.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
The only thing that I would say, like Candy said, I'm not talking ill about her, about the mom. The only thing that I wished is that it didn't have to come to that.
Yes.
I just wish that it didn't have to come to discrediting Jedediah and all of those positive people that were by her side. I just wish that it didn't have to come to that. Because like I said before, is she owed that? If it is a settlement? Because this is all ifs. We're not saying that this is what happened. But if it was a settlement involved, does she deserve that? Absolutely. I just wish that it didn't have to come to this. I just wish that it didn't have to come to this divide, this division.
Because what has happened now, which I don't even think Mama Teresa or anybody close to the family has thought along these lines or thought this far in advance. But what I feel happens a lot of times is when you settle with the enemy like this on these terms, it's a difference between settling and saying, okay, look, this happened, I'm owed some money, let me get my money and let me scurry on to the background. It didn't just end there. What happened was there was an exchange of funds, which we definitely assume there was an exchange of funds, but because she had to publicly discredit him, now what has happened is, if there's ever another situation, if there's ever another child that's murdered or something happens where we have to band together as people and find justice for another family, now we're doing it on rocky grounds because you've got division. And the city of Rosemont have not only silenced the march, they've silenced all the people involved, they've gotten rid of this headache, they've also created rocky grounds for these people who do this on a consistent basis. Jedediah and everybody else associated, Lamont, everybody else associated, they've created rocky grounds for them to ever be able to step up and say, we're here for another family. Why? Because it's all this division.
Exactly. And
it's all this division.
If I had the opportunity to say anything to Jedediah, to Sheena, to Lamont, to all these people that were involved, you have to understand, and I'm sure they know this, but you have to understand when you step into a position of power, you step into a position where you're uncovering truths, if you step into a position where you are fighting injustices, this is going to happen over and over and over again. If you know anything about history, if you look at Martin Luther King Jr., if you look at Malcolm X, it was done to them. It was done to Barack Obama. It was done to Jesse Jackson. I mean, it was done to anybody that's in this position, because at the end of the day, the key is to discredit you. The key is to try to take your power away from you. And like Candy said, when he moves on to his next thing, if he decides to pursue this and continue to be an activist, the next time something from the Kenneka case is going to follow him into that situation. So it's always a matter of trying to discredit you, divide us. And I'm not speaking race. I see a few people talking about that. It's not about race at all. It's about justice. Anytime you have somebody that's speaking up for that, they're going to try to find a way to divide it. And it's so unfortunate. And I just want to say to them, keep your head up. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay strong. Because at the end of the day, there was no mystery why everything was public. There was no mystery why everything was on camera. There was no mystery why, he was just being open about everything, because probably dealing with the past situation where it may not have been handled that way. He was like, look, this time, no. You're not going to be able to say that I did this. You're not going to be able to say that I did that. You're not going to be able to say all these things, because like the cameraman said, if you guys looked at the video, the cameraman said, I pretty much have been there from day one. Like, I've been there every single time. I don't understand. He was like himself, what does he stand to win? What does he stand to gain? He was like, I don't understand. Yeah.
And so you also, I mean, if I had to say anything to Jedediah, to Sheena, to Lamont, to everybody involved, I would say this: remember your assignment. Remember your assignment, and remember who gave you your assignment. This is bigger than you. This is bigger than me. This has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with race. This is about money, power, and influence. And so anytime you interrupt in the systems, what do I mean by the systems? Rosemont operates by systems. Systems of nepotism, systems of corruption, systems of, one hand washing the other and people moving how they want to move without interruption. You've got systems that have been in place for years. And you've got a group of people who came together and they interrupted the systems. And because they interrupted the systems, people who are involved in those systems did and were willing to do anything short of death of another person to cover up those systems. And I wouldn't be surprised. Remember, do you really think it's a mystery that all the people closest to the movement, that their Facebook pages weren't working? Do your research. There's a Facebook office not very far from where all of this took place in Rosemont. Do you really feel that without a couple of phone calls that these people's pages could be, you know, frozen, where they couldn't go live, where they couldn't make videos and they couldn't share posts and they couldn't receive messages and do all these things? Exactly. It's all an interruption of the systems, and it has nothing to do with race, because trust and believe, if Kenneka Jenkins' mother was Oprah Winfrey, or if her father was, you know what I mean, Michael Jordan or somebody like that, because they have the money, the power, and the influence, they would have definitely been able to get justice.
Absolutely.
Sooner.
Right.
Sooner. So it's not really all about race. It's somewhat about race, but it's not really all about race. It's not just that. So many times people will make that thing the main thing, and that thing is not the main thing. That's not the main thing. That's what people want you to focus on. Because as long as you're focusing on race, all it is smoking lights or smoking mirrors for what's really going on. And what's really going on is the corruption. It's all the things that have been uncovered. It's all the things that have been uncovered. And like we said in a prior video, when you want to know the motive, chase the money. And when we said that, what we mean is, again, going back to what happened. So you've got a group of young black kids at night who have come to a hotel. They probably don't have a lot of money. They just looking to have a good time. Some things get out of control. Some bogus people at that party lured her. They took her somewhere. They tried to do something to her. They killed that girl. Who has the most to lose? It ain't them fools at the party. It ain't even about them clowns. It's the people who got the deepest pockets. It's the owners of the hotel. Why? Because this took place in a public atmosphere. This took place in a place that was supposed to have been secured and supposed to have been safe, and it wasn't. If them fools would have killed her in a bathroom or one of those private hotel rooms, the hotel would not be liable. They would not be liable, because those areas are not supposed to be secured. The mere fact that all of this took place in a kitchen, are you kidding me? So that's what created this whole mess. So it goes back to who has the most to lose. The city of Rosemont has the most to lose. They have military contracts in which people who are there for training in the military stay at that hotel. They have a casino not even 5 minutes from that hotel. Are you kidding me? Do you really think them fools that did that to her got something to lose? Yeah, they got something to lose. They got their freedom to lose. But at the end of the day, who weigh them on the scale? Who's got the most to lose?
Now, what I will say is very sad that the people that did do this to her will probably get away scot-free.
I don't believe that.
Because at the end of the day, they were wrong.
Nope, I don't believe they're going to get away scot-free, because what has happened is, I believe a private settlement has been reached. You'll never know the amount. You'll never know that it happened, because there's probably been non-disclosure agreements that have been signed with all parties. I believe that the city of Rosemont, at no point in time did they not know who did this. They knew who did this. They've talked to people in this room. What you have is, you have a group of people who probably didn't know their rights. Them young kids probably didn't know their rights. They probably didn't know that they didn't have to answer questions when they went down there to the police. Them people probably incriminated themselves, told on themselves, and now that the city of Rosemont's worst fear has happened, which is them having to pay out, they silenced their second worst fear, which is them having to publicly pay out. But they had to pay out. Somebody's going to pay. They're gonna go get all of their asses. All of their asses is going to have to face their day in court. But the problem is, a lot of those people that were involved at the hotel, we don't know their last names. We know first names of some,
but probably not even the people that actually did it.
But a lot of the people we don't know their names. So it's not even like you could look them up to figure out, okay, well, where's such and such now? Or, you know what I mean? Like, did they go to trial for murder or whatever the case may be?
So,
because at the end of the day, none of this would have transpired had they not did what they did. So they're absolutely going to pay for it. They're absolutely going to pay for it.
So, you got anything else?
I got nothing else. To the guys in the to the people in the comment section that had negative things to say about me or Chaun, I love you anyway. I'm not going to speak ill about you. I'm a more professional person, and I'm a bigger person than that. I'm unbothered by you. You increased our platform, so I appreciate you for your viewership. I hope you share the video, whether you agree, disagree, or indifferent. I hope this video finds Mama Teresa. I hope you understand, baby, that we're not pointing fingers at you. I'm not blaming you. I actually feel bad for you that you had to sit in a seat that was so large that you did not ask for,
right,
and take on the problems of the world that you did not ask for. All you wanted was your child to return home from a party, and you were thrust into a position of leadership. You were thrust into a position of justice and having to go against the system. You were also forced to make some very difficult decisions. Because I've never been in that seat, I'm not blaming you for what you chose to do, if what we say is true. But what I do offer is, again, my sincere condolences. I hope you have answers. You don't owe anybody answers. We wish you would give us answers, because we did make some sacrifices as well. But you know, as a public, you know, you certainly don't owe us anything. I hope that you're able to, at some point, heal emotionally, physically, mentally. I hope you're able to move on with your life. To Jedediah, to Sheena, to Lamont, I love you with the love of God. I admire you for your strength and your courage. I hope that the people online continue to uplift you and support you and support everything that you do. I hope the naysayers are silenced. I hope that the tricks of the enemy are exposed. And I wish you nothing but the blessings of God in everything that you do and say from this day forward. Everything that you did in private to help this family, you will be rewarded for tenfold.
Absolutely.
I love you. I appreciate everybody who have prayed for the Kendi and Chaun movement, have prayed for us during this time that we were so advocately, supporting this movement and uplifting this family. Thank you guys for everything that you have done. To everybody who gave $1 to help somebody get out of jail, to eat, to help people organize, and to help people, pay for buses and transportations and everything. Nothing that you did is in vain. Because at the end of the day, even if this mother did settle, it still costed the Crown Plaza some discomfort. It costed them financially, of course, and so many other things. So none of what we did together was in vain.
Right.
Never ever forget that.
Absolutely. So, like we said, this is our last and final video on the Kenneka Jenkins case. We will not say anything else about it. Whatever happens will happen. At the end of the day, God has the last say so. Like we said, at the end of the day, it was for justice for Kenneka.
Yep.
And we pray that it still comes forth that way. For those who have supported us, we love you. We thank you. If you're new to watching us, if we said anything that sat with you, if you want to see us, in the future, definitely like and follow the page. For those that are watching us on YouTube, definitely subscribe and share the video. If we said something that you don't like, that's fine too. We understand. But we just wanted to put it out there what our thoughts were. People asked us, and so this is what we did. So we love you, we appreciate you, and at the end of the day, who shut it down?
We shut it down.
Who shut it down?
We shut it down. 21 hours to a cover-up, baby.
We love you all.
We love you.